Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be doing a walk around on a modified 2021 Toyota Tacoma. I think this is a pretty cool build. You guys will really like it. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Toyota here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with the Tacoma. Check out the inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the walk around. So let's go over this modified Toyota Tacoma. And again, this is a 2021. So first off, you guys can see here with the hood, we've got the venting there in the center. Definitely a cool aesthetic piece. And then coming down below, this just has the base lights. Doesn't have the cool lights that you get on something like the TRD Pro, for example. We've got the fog lights just down below those. And then notice with the shape of the bumper, that actually helps out with ground clearance. And then you guys can see some of the aftermarket goodies there with the suspension in the front. And then you can see the skid plate just down below for added protection. And then notice that the Toyota logo is there, doubles as a sensor, which is another cool feature. And then we've got the painted fender flares right here, which I always think look really good with the Tacomas. And then here's the tire and wheel setup. So we do have 17-inch wheels here with the Tacoma. They're the TRD wheels, as you guys can see. And then you can see the brake calipers painted silver. And then coming over here to the suspension, this truck's actually lifted. It's got a Tough Country lift. And then you guys can see the tread there on the tires. Those BF Goodrich tires are just fantastic. I had them on my Raptor. I loved them. And then obviously the blacked out logo. And then these mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. That's why I'm pointing there to show you guys that. And then you've got the off-road side steps. So they basically double as rocker panels, but then also they've got the steps that pop down, which are kind of annoying because they get in the way with off-roading. And then you've got the same exact setup there on the rear. And if you guys are wondering, those are the KO2s from BF Goodrich. And then you guys can kind of see stuff in the back end, but it's not as visible as the front. And then you just have your regular TRD Sport logo there. And then we've got the taillights here in the back end, which just the same as any other Tacoma. And then we've got another Tacoma logo right there. And then we've got the composite bed here in the rear. And you guys probably saw there is a tonneau cover as well. And here's kind of a look at the composite bed and just kind of how that looks. Sorry about the footage being a little bit grainy. Obviously the tonneau cover kind of hides the light. And then you can see we've got the outlet here in the bed as well, which is another nice feature. Something about the tailgates for the Tacomas is they're actually pretty heavy, but that's most mid-sized trucks, which is pretty interesting. And that old dude totally like photobombed the video. He came out of nowhere, but it's okay. Stuff like that happens. Continuing here to the side, so you've got like the soft touch in the door panel. And again, this is the lower down package with the Tacoma. So you've got the cloth seats here. I really like the design on the seats. I think that design looks absolutely fantastic. Definitely unique. It kind of looks like some of the trails that you'll probably tackle with the Tacoma. And then you've got some cup holders right there for the back passengers. And yeah, aside from that, that's pretty much everything for the rear. Now, popping over to the front, door panel materials, all that is identical to what you have in the rear. And then notice you've got of your window controls, the mirror controls, all that. And then material-wise, the front seats are the same, but notice that the bolsters are a little bit larger there with the front seats here with the Tacoma. And then you've got the contrasted stitching. They are power adjustable. You've got our Tacoma TRD Sport floor mats, and then just the regular pedals there at the bottom portion. And then notice we've got the controls for the lights and everything. And then that one is for the outlet there in the back, and then the stability control as well. And then notice with the steering wheel how you've got the perforated leather there on either side, which actually helps out with grip when you're taking it off-road. And then you've got the whole analog gauge cluster, 3 miles on the truck, so it's like as new as it gets. And then you can see the climate controls. It does have dual zone climate. And then you've got a bunch of controls right there, like for the power sliding window, blind spot monitoring, parking sensors, all that. It does have wireless phone charger, and then more cup holders. And then that is the shifter for the 6-speed automatic. I've got the center console, which is kind of on the small side, to be honest, but it's a mid-sized truck, so it makes sense. And then notice we've got the glove box right here, and then you've got kind of that soft touch there on the front of the dash. You can lock the glove box, and then you've got the Tacoma logo there on the outside as well. Geez, the camera's like, you know, I don't want to focus. And then we've got the sunglass holder there at the very top, which, I mean, some car makers are getting rid of sunglass holders. I think that's pretty interesting. Now, this is the funny part. This shows you how heavy the hood is with the Tacoma. It's the hardest to open. So I think I tried it and then finally got it open. Just if you have a chance to open a Tacoma hood, try it. But anyways, it's got the 3.5 liter V6 completely stock. So 278 horsepower, 265 pound-feet of torque, 6-speed automatic. Yeah, nothing's changed under the hood. And yeah, Couldn't shut it fully because, again, it's super heavy. Trust me, it's such a pain trying to close those. But yeah, just look at the stance of the truck. I think it looks really good, again, from a stance perspective with the lift and with the tires. And I definitely think that this is kind of how it should come from the factories with that stance. I mean, look at that. I mean, obviously it looks kind of funny because the hood's not fully closed, but yeah, it's just from every single angle, it just looks really good. And I definitely say if you have something like this, like a TRD Sport, I recommend doing this build on it because not only does it look good, it obviously adds practicality with adding ground clearance and everything that is great for off-roading, and yeah, just every single angle on this truck. Love it. So I'm back from looking at that Tacoma that was at the Toyota dealership, and I thought I'd give you guys kind of my thoughts on the Tacoma aside from just going over the truck itself. So first off, aesthetically, I think the truck looks really good. Definitely had a really nice stance with everything that has been added to the truck, and the truck obviously has something that the Tacoma desperately needs, which is aggressive off-road tires. Obviously with the TRD Pro, you've got pretty nice tires, but the tires on that one, I just absolutely love the look of them, and obviously those are super practical for off-roading. But the thing that I think is really cool about that truck is it actually gives you not the exact same performance, because obviously the shocks in that are not as advanced as a TRD Pro, but you get pretty similar performance as what you could get in a TRD Pro for a lot less money, because you're not going to have to pay the crazy markup that is associated with the TRD Pro. So I definitely think it's a great value, and I think that that's just a really cool build overall aesthetically, and then performance wise, obviously it adds a lot. And I know some people are probably be torn on the interior with that particular truck because it's kind of like a baseline interior, but I think that's the best package to build off of, is if you do like a base model truck and then build it up, because again, you're lowering the initial cost of entry, so then that allows you to spend a little bit more money on modifications versus taking a more fully loaded truck and then adding on a bunch of those modifications. So I definitely think that's the route to go. I definitely think that's a super smart move with that particular kind of truck. And yeah, just overall, I think it's a really good build. Now, would I add anything to this particular truck? Here's what I would probably do if like I were to build it myself. So I think, again, the stance is great, tires are great, wheels are great, all of that stuff was solid. I probably would add like a light bar to the front end and maybe do an aftermarket front bumper and rear bumper as well, something a little bit more aggressive to add a little bit more ground clearance. You guys will see this pretty soon in a video where I do a walk around with a 4Runner that has crazy bumpers, something like that 4Runner, which obviously you guys don't know now, but you guys will see in the future. I think that would be cool. Other than that, also an exhaust. I think I'd also add an exhaust to the truck. But other than that, super great build, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that quick walk around on it. Now, that is pretty much going to sum things up for our video on this modified 2021 Toyota Tacoma. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below what you think of this build, what you would change on it personally, and just kind of like, again, your thoughts overall. But again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Toyota in Murray for giving me some time with the Tacoma so I could do this walk around. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below, and it is totally raining. It's gonna like, it's gonna downpour in a couple seconds, but yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.